한 5분 정도 딜레이 됐는데요. 우리 그 MS 그 빌더 애프터 파티 6번째입니다. 6번째인데 6번째, 7번째는 팀즈 관련돼 가지고 이제 MVP님 모시고 팀즈 관련된 이야기 해보기로 했거든요. 그래서 제가 조금 한번 봤어요. 봤는데 좀 어렵더라고요. 옛날에는 팀즈가 좀 쉽게 나온 것 같은데 이제는 점점 거버넌스 이런 것도 많이 들어가고 좀 어려운 것 같아가지고 그래서 다행히도 관련 MVP님 두 분이 발표해 주신다고 해가지고 마음이 상당히 편했어요. 제가 미리 한 봤는데 도움되는 얘기들이 많긴 하지만 좀 어려운 점이 있어서 여러분들 혹시 오늘 듣다가 어려운 점 있으면은 잘 메모했다가 너무 어려운 질문은 MVP님에게 하지 말아주세요. 이게 나온 지 얼마 안 됐기 때문에 완벽하게 다 할 수가 없거든요. 그러니까 처음 이제 이런 게 나온다 이렇게 해서 이제 그냥 보는 거니까 우리가 저번 주에는 MVP님 막 공격하기로 했잖아요. 열심히 막 준비해 와가지고 잘 들어보고 서로 좋은 이야기들 나눌 수 있는 정도 수준이었으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 그러면은 이제 고현정 MVP님 모시고 인사하고 이제 시작해 보도록 하겠습니다. 예, 고현정 MVP님 예, 자기소개 한번 해주십시오.
네, 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 제가 네, 이렇게 발표를 할 줄 몰랐네요, 여기서. 사실 저는 개발자도 아니고, 사실 이제 이랑 경영학을 전공을 해서 어떻게 하다 보니 이 M365 서비스를 MVP를 하고 있는데요. 일단 그 빌드 영상을 받고 우리 조금 이따 보시게 될 텐데 보신 분들도 있으시겠지만 이걸 제가 다 완벽하게 이해를 하고 여러분들께 말씀을 드리면 좋지만 저 역시 내용을 잘 알지 못합니다. 그래서 그냥 앞에 정리만 가볍게 해드리도록 할게요. 이제 빌드에서 말하는고자 했던 것들은 이제 보시면 아시겠지만 우리가 한 2년, 2년 반 정도 팬데믹으로 인해서 우리나라뿐만이 아니라 전 세계에 일하는 방식이 완전히 변경이 됐죠. 여러분들은 어떻게 일하시는지 모르겠는데, 저희 회사는 지금 6년, 7년 다 돼가고 있고, 완전 재택근무 방식을 도입을 했어요. 그래서 이렇게 일하는 방식이 굉장히 자연스럽고, 오늘도 사실 저는, 여긴 춘천이고요. 저는 캠핑카 안에 있습니다. 여기에서 지금
오,
네, 일을 하고 있었고, 잠깐 수상 스키를 타고, 네, 지금 와서 이렇게 급하게 밥을 먹고 세미나를 하고 있기 때문에 테더링을 했더니 이렇게 느릴지 몰랐어요. 네, 양해 부탁드립니다. 일단 어쨌든 이런 하이브리드 방식이랑 또 요새 또 좋은 말이 나왔더라고요. 하이브리드 방식 말고 분산 근무 형식이라고 이제 좀 정리돼서 영어들이 계속 나오고 있는데 어쨌든 이런 방식의 비즈니스 요구들은 계속해서 나오고 있고 그걸 충족하기 위한 애플리케이션들이 계속 필요해지죠. 그러다 보니까 그동안은 팀즈가 뭐지? 하면 사람들이 대부분 그 MS 제품 아니야? 이런 경우가 되게 많았어요. 근데 이제 그 2년을 거치고 나서 보니 마이크로소프트 팀즈가 협업의 중심이 됐고 월간 활성 사용자 수가 2억 7천만 명에 도달을 했고 계속해서 성장을 하고 있다라고 하는데 이 빌드에서 그래서 이 팀즈를 활용해서 기업에서 과연 이렇게 많은 사람이 들어오는데 어떻게 우리가 비즈니스를 성장시킬 수 있는지 발표를 했어요. 네, 페이지 넘겨주시면 되고요. 그래서 보면은 이제 발표가 여러 꼭지로 나뉘어져서 왔다 갔다 하는데 어쨌든 번역을 제가 최선을 다해서 그냥 라인 바이 라인으로 하긴 했는데 마이크로소프트 그래프 AI를 사용을 해서 앱의 협업이나 풍부한 사용자 경험을 제공하는 방법 그다음에 Azure Communication Services를 사용을 해서 음성, 비디오, 채팅, 전자메일 어쨌든 더 많이 일을 할 수 있는 기능을 커뮤니케이션 할 수 있는 기능을 앱에 쉽게 넣을 수 있는 방법에 대해서 보여준다고 하는데 방법은 되게 쉬워 보이는데 그거를 우리가 할 수 있을지는 또 다른 이야기인 것 같고요. 네, 또 다음 페이지 보여주시면 또 팀즈 프로그램 매니저가 나와서 이 M36 마이크로소프트 그래프 API를 통해서 지라랑 팀즈 채팅이랑 어떻게 그 커넥팅을 해서 편하게 쓸 수 있는지 앱을 실제로 시연을 해서 보여주더라고요. 이걸 보면 조금 더 아이디어를 얻을 수 있을 것 같아요. 지라에서 이슈 만들고 채팅 와가지고 만들었으니 봐라 이게 아니라 그냥 팀즈 내에서 지라를 커넥트해서 쓸 수 있는 방법을 설명을 해주고요. 또 다음 페이지 네, 보시면 이렇게 앱을 배포를 하고 고객들이 앱을 추가해서 그 앱을 뭐 사거나 추가해서 쓰면 어쨌든 보안의 이슈가 있잖아요. 그래서 앱 컴플라이언스를 어떻게 개발자가 이 보안 및 준수를 공부하고 다 지키고 이러긴 어렵다는 거죠. 그래서 어떻게 편리하게 좀 프로세스를 단순화하고 좀 더 잘 쓸 수 있게끔 하는지 그 개발자 도구도 함께 발표를 했어요. 그리고 또 다음 페이지 보시면 그 앱 배포 서티피케이션 프로세스를 또 설명을 해줘요. 근데 이제 이 빌드에서 얘기를 하는 거는 60일을 이야기를 하더라고요. 그래서 초기 준비부터 그 서티피케이션까지 주는 것까지 해서 그 단계를 설명을 해주니까 아, 저 정도로 앱을 배포하기 쉽겠구나 라는 걸 보실 수 있을 것 같고요. 또 다음 페이지에서는 그 팀즈 프로덕트 매니저가 나와서 새로운 기능들을 설명을 해줘요. 우리가 이제 앱을 만들어서 배포를 하라는 거잖아요. 비즈니스를 성장시키기 위해서. 그래서 팀즈 앱 스토어가 어떻게 좀 더 편리하게 바뀌었는지, 그리고 이제 늘 얘기하는 거 있잖아요. 비주얼이 굉장히 좋아졌다, 트렌디해졌다, 뭐 이런 거. 그리고 카테고리를 좀 더 나누었다. 그다음에 뭐 인증 정보 확인도 가능하게 됐다. 검색 환경도 좋아졌다. 또 뭐 모바일에서도 된다. 뭐 새로운 머신러닝 모델을 도입했다. 이런 것들을 설명을 해줍니다. 그리고 다음에서 제일 중요한 거죠. 팀즈에서 앱을 수익화를 해서 비즈니스를 성장시킬 수 있는 방법에 대해서 발표를 해요. 그래서 그거를 보시게 되면은 아마 네, 이해가 되실 것 같습니다. 페이지 이제 또 넘겨주시면 네, 이렇게 해서 아예 우리 그냥 핸드폰 앱스토어에서 앱 결제하고 설치하는 것처럼 팀즈 앱에서도 고객이 필요한 앱을 이렇게 인앱 결제해서 쓸 수 있는 형태로 네, 한다라고 하니까 관심 있는 분들은 꼭 우리 앱스토어에다가만 론칭을 하는 게 아니라 팀즈에다도 론칭을 해서 비즈니스에 또 뭐 다른 수익화 모델을 같이 꿈꿔볼 수 있는 그런 거에 대해서 설명을 합니다. 그래서 이제 마지막 페이지로 그럼 이제 함께 빌드를 보시면 되겠습니다. 가벼운 브리핑이었습니다.
예, 감사합니다. 잘 요약해 주셔서 감사합니다. 이게 지금 내용이 40분에 달해가지고 내용이 정말 많아요. 딴 것들 한 20분, 30분 빌드 발표했던 것보다 훨씬 더 많으니까. 근데 지금 고현정 MPP님이 진짜 번역을 열심히 해주신 것 같아요. 왜냐 그러면 제가 MS 빌드에서 한글로 기계 번역되진 걸 가지고 이해할 때랑 지금 보내주신 거랑 볼 때, 이 내용이 이런 내용이었나 싶을 정도로 조금 많이 다른 것 같아요. 그래서 아마 여러분들 보실 때 훨씬 더 편하실 거예요. 전에 이제 한번 보신 분들도. 그래서 제가 지금 테두리 문제가 있어서 제 쪽에서 틀어드리기로 했거든요. 제 쪽에서 이 영상 틀어드리니까, 아이고, 이건 아까 제가 공부하고 있었던 건데, 구글 거 공부하고 있었어요. 구글 앱스 스크립트 공부하고 있었는데, 다 연관되는 것 같아요. 제가 해보니까. 구글도 그렇고, MS도 그렇고, 저 이제 파워 플랫폼 쪽으로 하고 있는데, 지금 팀즈도 그렇고, 그래서 마지막 수익화 나올 때가 제일 기쁜 것 같아요. 여러분들 중에도 챗봇이라든가, 뭐, 파워 앱스, 팀즈, 이렇게 뭐, 농에서 저랑 혹시 능력되시는 분들 중에 또 관심 있으면 저랑 만들어서 우리도 한번 올려봐요. 혹시 대박 날 줄 압니까? 네, 그래서 오늘 이야기 초반부터 한 15분까지는 커뮤니케이션 관련돼서 좀 재밌는 내용들이 쭉 나올 거예요. 아까 지라 얘기 이거니까 보시고, 나머지 이제 한 35분까지는 좀 지루하긴 해요. 지루하긴 한데, 요즘에 들어서는 되게 중요한 문제들이니까, 보완하고, 거버넌스, 아까 뭐 이제 배포 관련된 내용들이니까, 그 점 좀 주의하셔서 보시면 될 것 같아요. 오늘 연필 들고 약간씩 메모 잘 하셨다가 끝나고 나서 한번 다시 논의해 보도록 하겠습니다. 길어서 9시 정도 돼야 될 것 같아요. 그러니까 필요하신 분들은 지금 저녁 카메라 끄시고 저녁 드셔도 괜찮아. 쭉 한번 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 제가 틀겠습니다. 여러분
Hello, everyone. We hope you enjoy.
잘 들리시나요?
잘 들립니다.
예. 목소리 크기 괜찮나요? 아니면 조금 줄여드릴까요?
The second day of build as much as we are. My name is Gladys Kempfak and I'm a principal product manager here at Microsoft. Today, we're going to show you how you can reach hundreds of millions of users and grow your business with Teams. Obviously, the pandemic has changed the way we work. Our hybrid world needs hyper-connected applications to meet business needs. For all of us, Microsoft Teams became the centerpiece of our day-to-day collaboration. Teams has reached 270 million monthly active users and continues to grow. I invite you to learn how you can tap into the huge potential and reach of Teams to transform your next generation of collaborative applications to accomplish more together. The collaborative apps you build meet users in their flow of work, whether you're building an app on Teams or in your application. Yesterday's breakout titled Building Collaborative Apps with Teams and Microsoft 365 dove deep on the first pattern, extending your app with Teams. In this session, you will learn how you can bring collaboration and rich user experiences to your app with Azure Communication Services and Microsoft Graph APIs. We'll also cover how you can reach millions of customers easily, learn ways to build applications with enterprise-level security, and launch and monetize with Teams. We have your back every step on the way. Let us dive in, shall we? I'm happy to introduce Juan Jose Sanchez, a senior program manager joining from Costa Rica, to share more about how you can easily and rapidly reach more customers with Teams and Azure Communication Services. Welcome, Juan Jose.
Thank you, Gladys. Hello, everyone. I'm Juan Jose Sanchez, and I'm a senior program manager for Azure Communication Services. And I'm excited to show you how you can bring rich communication experiences to all your applications across any device on any platform, using the same reliable and secure infrastructure that powers Microsoft Teams. With Azure Communication Services, you can easily bring voice, video, chat, email, and more communication capabilities into your apps, so you can build amazing experiences for your customers. The only limit is your imagination. You can simplify your application and use a familiar user experience by connecting your app users with Microsoft Teams. Combining a custom application experience for external users and using Microsoft Teams for internal users is especially common for virtual visits. Virtual visits are a class of communication scenarios we're helping organizations like Teladoc deliver. Let me show you how Teladoc has developed a custom experience in the healthcare arena. And hey, I must say, I love not having to visit the doctor's office in person. I can do it from anywhere. In this scenario, Teladoc created a custom experience for care providers directly inside Teams. Here, for example, physicians can schedule a follow-up consultation with a patient and send an invite to join a virtual visit. Patient receive an email or an SMS notification with details about the consultation and check in directly from the Teladoc custom app. Once completed, physicians can review the patient's information, form, and proceed with the consultation directly from the Teams client and the patients from the Teladoc portal. That way, physician and patient work from the apps they already know. As you just saw, the interoperability between Microsoft Teams and Azure Communication Services provides a seamless communication experience. Employees and internal users enjoy their familiar team experience, while external users or patients enjoy a customized application. And you can build these types of experiences with Azure Communication Services APIs and SDKs, Microsoft Graph, and Azure. And the most exciting part is that starting today, you can build a similar virtual visit experience in just a few minutes. To make it easier for you to quickly create an app, we have added a simple builder in the Azure portal. This simple builder will help you build and deploy a variety of demo solutions. But our first template is for virtual visits. With this tool, you can easily configure and deploy a virtual visit web app that enables your customers to book a virtual appointment and join the consultation directly to the application. Meanwhile, the staff joins the appointment through the familiarity of the Teams client they love and use every day. Let's take a look.
약간만 설명 더 드리면요. 그러니까 이제 이런 것들을 되게 쉽게 만들 수 있는 빌드 그 샘플이 있다는 거예요. 그래서 이제 홈페이지에다가 팀즈를 심어가지고 그래서 이제 양방향으로 이제 하상 회의를 할 수 있는 이런 것들을 되게 쉽게 만들 수 있다는 거예요. 쉽게.
Here, I have a deployed version of our solution. It enables me to book an appointment and join the appointment call, all directly through this custom application. To get started, as patient, or in this case, as the parent of the patient, I will book the appointment. I will select Dr. Mansour, my kid's lover, and then I will select a date and time. Finally, some required additional information. Now that my visit has been scheduled, let's connect with the clinic. Notice that Dr. Mansour can go to her calendar on Teams and join it through her Teams client. Also notice that as a patient, when I click on my appointment, it will launch my virtual visit through this custom web application. Now, your staff and customers can interact together without leaving their own applications. Let's now explore how this all works behind the scenes. Solutions leverage Microsoft Bookings for easy scheduling capabilities on top of Microsoft Graph. It also leverages Azure Communication Services UI library to provide a turnkey communication experience that is fully customizable, localizable, and responsive. The solution can be configured using the Azure Communication Services sample builder right on the Azure portal. There, without having to write any code, you can easily add your own theme and logos, configure capabilities like chat, and add your instance of Microsoft Bookings. Let's take a look. Here, I can configure the features of the virtual visit.
여기 보시면은 마이크로소프트 애저죠, 그죠? 애저에서 샘플 빌더가 있어요. 여기서 이제 부킹 앱이라고 M365에 있는 부킹 앱의 주소를 이 페이지 URL에만 붙이면은 방금 만든 그 양쪽에서 접근할 수 있는 의사는 아까 팀즈로 접근했고 이제 환자는 홈페이지, 이 오른쪽에 보이는 홈페이지 이런 식으로 접근해서 만들어 줄 수 있도록 이렇게 미리 만들어 놨다는 거예요.
I can enable or disable chat capabilities. I also can control who can screen share. The display on the right will show me the classic phases of a virtual visit. Call start, lobby, call, and chat. And with this component, I can see how the changes will look like in real time. To add your instance of Microsoft Bookings, go to your calendar, and then to the booking page section. Copy your booking page link and paste into the sample builder. Next, let's configure our theme. Here, I'm gonna type the company name. Let's now change the theme color. Let's choose green. Look great, doesn't it? And now let's add some messaging for our lobby experience. Once you have configured your application, you have several options. You can download a zip file, you can clone it to GitHub, or you can deploy it directly to your Azure subscription and have your application running in just a couple of minutes. The solution for virtual visits presented here is fully open source and can be accessed on GitHub. Developers can modify it to provide their own booking system or build one with Microsoft Graph, and further configure the call and chat experiences using the UI library and Azure Communication Services. Go check it out. Look for our on-demand session, where we'll be going deeper into building other scenarios that leverage Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Graph, and Azure Communication Services, like event management platforms. I can't wait to see what exciting new apps you can build next. Now, over to Nick, who will talk about Microsoft Graph APIs for Teams. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks, JJ. Hi, everyone. I'm Nick Kramer, Principal Product Manager in Teams Graph here at Microsoft. I'm excited to show you how to enable your users to collaborate seamlessly without having to constantly swivel between multiple tools. JJ showed you how to embed an ACS-powered custom video client for virtual visits into your app, which was really neat. What I'm going to show you is how to embed a Teams chat into your app using Microsoft Graph APIs. To show you what I mean, consider this. Teams is a great collaboration tool, and Jira is a great work management and issue tracking tool. But how do you collaborate with your coworkers on Jira? You could switch over to Teams, start a new chat, and cut and paste the details from Jira. And then you switch back to Jira while you wait for a reply, and then you switch back to Teams for the answer, and then you learn you didn't cut and paste enough information for your coworker to give a meaningful answer, and then you repeat the whole process. Frustrating. Or you can bring your Teams chats and channel messages into your app using Microsoft Graph APIs. Let's see what this looks like with Yasun's Smart Connect for Jira Teams app, which allows you to embed Teams chats and meetings into your Jira issues. Here we have a typical IT support.
오른쪽에는 팀즈 다 아시죠, 그죠? 왼쪽이 지라예요. 지라의 이쪽 왼쪽이 조금만 이제 보다 보면은 여기다가 지라에다가 팀즈를 포함시킬 거예요. 포함시켜서 두 쪽이 양쪽이 어떻게 서로 통신을 하는지 그걸 보여주는 거거든요. 예.
Support case. Pradeep has a ticket for Miriam that her laptop is crashing, but he needs more information from her before he can help. He creates a new Teams chat by using Yasun and Jira to ask Miriam for further details. When he does that, Miriam gets a message in Teams that not only has his question, but also the context from Jira, the issue title, the ticket number, and a link back to the full details in Jira. Miriam answers without leaving Teams, and Pradeep gets the reply without leaving Jira. And if the same issue is reactivated next week when he's on vacation, the new agent can find that conversation and be instantly up to speed. So, how do we get there? Microsoft Graph is a rich suite of APIs that lets you read and send messages from your own app to other Teams users, and we've been enhancing them to let your users collaborate seamlessly from your app. Let's walk through the key APIs for creating these experiences, and I'll call out what's new. First, we create a chat thread. There's also APIs for creating channels, if that's how you like to roll. When we create a chat, we can specify whether it's a one-on-one chat or a group chat, and we specify the members of that chat. We've also recently added the ability to create chats with federated users, users outside of your tenant. Next, there's the API to send a message in the chat thread we just created. You can send a plain text message, but you can also send rich messages, rich text, emojis, reactions, images, file attachments, add mentions. If you can send it in Teams, you can send it through the Microsoft Graph APIs. Graph even goes one better by letting you send actionable cards as well, with forms and buttons like we saw in our Yasun demo. There's also the ability to @mention users by their tag, such as @mentioning the doctors or nurses in a hospital. Our third key API is to get a list of chats. We added the ability to get the last message preview for each chat, and we've also added the ability to get the viewport, that is, which messages are read and which messages are unread by the current user. Our fourth API is getting the messages from an existing chat thread or channel. We call this when the chat window is first opened to catch up on what's been said. Now you can get these messages in the order you'd see them in Teams client. Previously, you could only get them sorted by last modified time, which works for bulk messaging scenarios like compliance archiving, but isn't what you need for these interactive messaging scenarios. Finally, we subscribe to change notifications, which lets us hear about new messages without having to poll. When we create the subscription, we specify the chat thread we want to hear about and provide a callback URL. When a new message comes in, our callback URL is invoked with the details of the new message. You now have ways to subscribe to all of a user's chats and to subscribe to membership changes. We've also added rich notifications for delegated permissions, so that when you're notified of a new message, you actually get the message, and not just a hint that the message exists. So, using those 5 APIs, create chat, send messages, list chats, get messages, create subscription, we've brought the structure to our chats and enabled our users to collaborate without constantly switching apps. Let's turn now to how we can bring structured conversations to a meeting without having to juggle multiple app windows. Here I have the
까지는 그 지라 안에서 앱에서 지금 그 API를 가지고 그 채팅을 스레드를 주고 받았잖아요. 이제는 팀즈 안에 지금 그 왼쪽 위에 보이는 홈페이지 있죠. 이걸 그대로 갖고 와서 지금 이 내용을 보여주는 걸 보여줄 거예요.
TOSO sales report, which I want to share with my team. Traditionally, I'd need to juggle between that report window and the meetings window, most commonly by sharing my screen, maximizing the sales report so everyone else can get a good view, and effectively losing my access to the meeting window while I'm sharing. Our new Share in Meeting feature provides a better way. When I click Share in Meeting, it displays that content in the meeting stage for everyone to see, including me. And it's not just a fancy screen sharing app, we're sharing the full app. It's individually rendered for each user according to their screen size. It's even interactive. Each user can highlight the parts of the report they're interested in and zoom the map to look at the details they want to look at. There's only two things you need to do to support Share in Meetings. First, you need a Teams app that contains a tab that can be hosted on the meeting stage. A tab is a way to bring arbitrary HTML into Teams. You declare them in your Teams app manifest by giving the URL of that arbitrary HTML and providing some information on where that tab can go.
한번 보충 설명드리면 이거는 이제 소스 코드가 나와서 이게 어디 있는 거냐 이렇게 생각할 수 있는데 이게 우리가 아까 봤던 홈페이지 그 앞에 매니페스트를 또 지정할 수 있는 그 페이지 만들 수 있거든요. 그 페이지에 요거를 설정해 주는 거예요. 컨피그레이션 탭이라고 해서 그 안에 이제 스코프하고 컨텍스트를 이렇게 집어넣어 주면은 저렇게 이제 나중에 가져갈 수 있다는 거거든요.
This one goes in a group chat because meetings have group chats, and this tab supports being on the meeting stage. Second step, we need a Share in Meeting button in your application that navigates to this magic hyperlink. Again, the tab is arbitrary HTML, so any way you want to build that button is fine. Just provide a deep link ID that means something to your app, the app ID of your application, the URL of the tab you want to render, and the entity name and description to display in the confirmation dialog. And that's all you need to do to create a Share in Meeting button that brings structure and context to your meetings. Let's recap what we saw. First, we saw how Azure Communication Services can power your virtual visits and virtual events with the same technology that powers Teams. Then we used Teams APIs in Microsoft Graph to structure our conversations so users don't need to switch tools to get work done. First, by bringing Teams chats into your app, and then by bringing your app into the Teams meeting. We have two great on-demand sessions going deeper into these topics, so check them out. Now that we've created a compelling app that allows seamless collaboration with minimal context switching, allowing you to stay in the flow of work with Microsoft Teams, I'll turn things back over to Gladys and the team to show you how to make your app even more trustworthy for enterprise customers.
Thank you so much, Nick. As a developer, it's critical that you continue to enhance the security posture of your application to grow adoption within the enterprise. With the ever-changing landscape of security and compliance risk and growing threats, Microsoft is committed to investing in solutions that make it easier for developers to build secure and compliant applications. To help me showcase 3 capabilities that will make your apps much more resilient against data loss, as well as help mitigate compliance risks, I'm going to ask Jackson Woods, a product manager on the Microsoft Identity platform, to join us.
Thanks, Gladys. It's great to be here.
So, Jackson, we've heard from many enterprise customers that they're inclined to block highly privileged applications due to the increased risk of data loss. How can developers configure their Teams apps to only access the data they need?
That's right, Gladys. So let me tell you about Resource-Specific Consent, or RSC. This is a new set of features available in Teams that lets developers scope the permissions of their apps to individual teams or group chats. This means that the app can only access data in the teams or chats where it's been given approval, rather than needing permission to access data across the entire tenant. All of our RSC permissions are called out in our Microsoft Graph reference docs and shown right alongside the standard permissions for each individual API. You'll also notice that they end with the Teams resource they're scoped to, like .group for Teams or .chat for group chats. Let me show you how to enable RSC in your Teams app. So let's configure an app to use RSC. Here, we've got a simple Teams app that needs to show a tab so it can display some interesting chat analytics about our team. For example, it could identify experts based on the topics they discuss in chat channels. To do that, we want to allow the app to read channel messages and manage the Teams tabs. Enabling resource-specific consent is easy. We'll just need to replace the standard permissions to do these things anywhere with the resource-specific permissions that apply only in the specific teams where the app is installed. As the developer who owns this application, I just need to add the RSC permissions to the app manifest, like so.
그럼 들어간 거 보이셨죠? 여기에서
Developer who owns this application, I just need to add the RSC permissions to the app manifest.
퍼미션에 이렇게 들어감으로 인해 가지고 그 채널 메시지하고 팀스텝 리더 라이트 그룹 설정하는 거 이렇게 돼 있는 사람들만 이게 들어갈 수 있도록 그렇게 타입을 그날 축소한다고 보시면 돼요. 전체에서.
Like so. In this case, I'll add channelmessage.read.group and teamstab.readwrite.group to allow our app to read users' messages and then set up and manage tabs. Then I need to be sure to remove any unneeded standard permissions from the matching app registration in the Azure portal. Otherwise, users and admins could be asked to consent to those permissions, even though I've reconfigured my app to use RSC. Now that I've removed any unnecessary standard permissions, I can simply keep passing the .default scope parameter when requesting a token. And that's it. The app is fully enabled for RSC. Customers who add it to Teams will see the permissions correctly listed, referencing this team. As a developer, configuring your app for resource-specific consent means that a separate RSC policy governs whether end users can consent to your application in customer organizations. For enterprise admins, this makes app approval easier and reduces overall user friction, since they don't have to enable global consent to let users approve apps and teams that those users own. And we're not just asking you to use RSC, we've actually created a new app pre-approval workflow that makes it easier for IT admins to approve RSC apps. I'm pleased to share that in the next few months, we'll be bringing this new granular app pre-approval feature to Teams and Azure AD. This will let IT admins in your own organization or admins for your external customers pre-approve your app to be installed and consented by their users based on the permissions you request and the sensitivity of their data. By using resource-specific consent wherever possible, your app will be easier to manage and approve. We're excited to see you start using this key new capability as we continue to expand our support for RSC. Gladys, permissions are only one of the 3 development layers that secure apps use to prevent data loss. What's the next one?
Thanks, Jackson. That was a cool and swift way for developers to build least privileged applications. To answer your question around how to make apps more trustworthy, we need to acknowledge that customers must meet regulatory requirements when deploying applications in their environment. As such, we currently have an established Microsoft 365 App Compliance Program. This program evaluates both the app and the app publisher against a series of well-known security, privacy, and data handling standards, such as SOC 2, PCI DSS, and ISO 27001. We are continually evolving this program to keep up with the changes to the security and compliance landscape so you can stay current. When you get your app Microsoft 365 certified, your customer will have the confidence in deploying it in their tenant. So, a couple of perks of the program includes a trust signal indicating to IT and security admins that your app
1, 2, 3단계를 거치면은 나중에 그 앱에 저런 그 인정 그 표시를 해준다는 거예요. 저 왼쪽에 보이는.
meets some of the regulatory requirements that Microsoft assesses against. Additionally, we are making an investment in streamlining the certification process. And finally, it helps remove roadblocks in the vetting and adoption process of the application in the enterprise. Recently, we were pleased to work with one of our partners, Adobe, on their certification journey for their newly certified Teams app. Let's hear from the Adobe team.
Hi, I'm David Elliott with Adobe. I work on the Adobe Acrobat Sign ecosystems team. That means I get to work with many of our key partners to implement Adobe Sign capabilities into their tools and workflows. Microsoft is a key partner of Adobe, and we've worked really closely with them to implement the deepest integrations and the richest experiences for e-signatures available in their ecosystem. As you would expect from Adobe, we take data privacy, security, and compliance very seriously. This is especially true for Adobe Acrobat Sign, as we power and protect our clients' most
팀즈 사용하시다 보면 나중에 성인 이런 데 보면 우리 사인 같은 거 할 때 어도비 제품 여기 사인 많이 이용하거든요. 그게 여기 들어와서 이제 이런 절차를 잘 밟아서 얘들이 이제 아까 승인고 이모컨 이런 거 이제 받았다는 얘기를 하고 있습니다.
important documents, their agreements. As Microsoft's preferred e-signature provider, we thought it imperative to participate in the M365 certification program. As we recently relaunched our Adobe Acrobat Sign for Microsoft Teams add-in in Microsoft App Stores, we thought it important, if not imperative, to launch with the certification badge. This is because we wanted our clients, as well as potential future clients, to know at a glance when discovering our add-ins in Microsoft that it was built to the highest security standards and pre-vetted by Microsoft. The certification process is very comprehensive, but the Microsoft team was very responsive, supportive, and thorough throughout the entire process. As Microsoft's preferred e-signature provider, Adobe Acrobat Sign is proud to participate in the M365 certification program. Thank you.
In addition to RSC, you can also get your application certified to make it more secure and trustworthy. What do you think, Jackson?
Well, that sounds great, but am I going to need to become a security and compliance expert? How can I keep up with regulations and grow trust with my enterprise customers to make sure they'll be able to adopt my new app?
Well, Jackson, as I promised at the opening of our talk, Microsoft has your back. We are pleased to announce a new developer tool to help you accelerate and simplify the process of evidence collection and control validation for applications built on Azure. The App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365 enables you to accelerate your application's adoption in the enterprise and achieve the regulatory and industry-specific compliance certifications. In 3 easy steps, you can get full visibility of your Microsoft 365 application's compliance status. First, you create a report, then you identify resources and define the application boundary. And finally, you can view your compliance report. You can even drill down into failed controls to access remediation recommendations. Let me go into a concrete example. If the enterprise requires encryption to further ensure the protection of the data in order to deploy the app Jackson built earlier, a developer or an ISV can define these boundaries using the App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365. The tool can then automatically detect whether this application is encrypting data at rest and confirm whether the appropriate encryption algorithm has been applied. All that in just a few clicks. This tool is being integrated in the Microsoft 365 certification workflow to enable you to access your application's compliance report and submit it as evidence to get certified. The App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365 is now available in preview for applications built on Azure. You can visit the link on screen to sign up for the preview program.
Wow, that sounds so helpful. I'd love to sign up for the preview, but is there a catch? How much is it going to cost to get my app certified?
I saved the best for last, Jackson. Microsoft will cover the cost of getting your application Microsoft 365 certified.
Wow, that's awesome. What's the process and next steps?
Here, you can see all the steps in getting your application certified. Our goal is to certify your apps in under 60 days, from initial preparation to awarding your Microsoft 365 certified badge, which will also be displayed in marketplaces such as AppSource and Teamsro to showcase your applications with enterprise customers. You can join the growing list of Microsoft 365 certified partners today. To learn more about how to build trustworthy apps for the enterprise, please join our on-demand session. With that, we've talked through 3 ways to further secure your cool app. Here's what you can do. 1, you can leverage resource-specific consent to limit data access in your app. Thanks, Jackson, for the great demo. 2, you can complete the Microsoft 365 certification to improve the security and compliance posture of your application. And 3, join the App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365 Preview to save time and make it easier to become compliant. We also know that app discoverability and monetization play a defining role in the success of your application. So let's welcome Manav Trivedi, who is going to explain new features to help you drive business growth.
지금까지 좀 어려웠죠? 근데 이제 앞으로 이제 나오는 거는 앱 수익화와 관련된 거거든요. 한번 잘 보시고 한번 고민 좀 해보시면 좋을 것 같아요.
Take it away, Manav.
Thank you, Gladys and Jackson. Hi, folks. My name is Manav Trivedi, and I'm a product manager on Teams platform. I'm so excited to show all the developers here at Build the work that we've done to the new Teams store. It's now cleaner, faster, and better organized with intelligent and curated experiences to make it easier than ever to get your apps in the hand of customers. Let's take a closer look. The user experience of the store has been refreshed with updated visuals and categories. The categories and industries in the store now align with the developer's publishing experience. The app tiles now provide richer information to users interested in your apps, and users can get a glimpse into categories, certification informations, and more directly from the tiles. Moving on to our intelligent features. We introduced a new machine learning model that learns about the usage patterns across a user's tenant and recommends apps based on their specific needs. We're also launching a list of trending apps on the store, so users can learn what's hot on Teams that week. We're excited to have you try out the updated store on Teams, and we're delighted to share that this experience will also be broadly available across M365, starting with Office and Outlook. You're sure to learn more about it in other sessions throughout the conference. In addition to the discovery capabilities that are new to the store, we also improved the app discovery experience outside the store. We improved contextual store experiences for users discovering new tabs, message extensions, and bots within their flow by showing a filtered set of apps that support their context. For example, when a user is composing a message and discovers new messaging extensions, they'll see a more human, task-oriented set of categories so they can quickly decide what to choose. In addition to an updated Teams experience on desktop, we've got a few more updates for Teams apps on mobile. Today, millions of users experience Teams exclusively on their mobile endpoint. I'm happy to announce these users can now discover and add your apps directly from their mobile devices. Users can easily find and use relevant apps wherever they are on Teams mobile, and even add apps directly from a link or QR code outside Teams. We're just getting started with introducing the app discovery experience on mobile. Going forward, your apps will be meticulously organized to make the process of finding the right app easy for our users. We're proud of the improvements we're bringing to the app discovery and management experience on desktop and mobile to help improve the business and growth of your apps. And I know monetization also plays a key role for you. So I'll hand it over to Chandrika to tell you more.
Thank you, Manav. That is very cool to see. Hey, everyone. I am Chandrika, and I'm a principal product manager here at Microsoft. All right, let's talk next about how you can grow your business by monetizing your apps on Teams. It was here at Build last year that we announced that we were enabling the discovery and purchase of Teams app from within the App Store as well as the Admin Center. Over the last year, we have seen some fantastic examples of developers integrating monetization into their apps, whether encouraging users to take micro breaks through the day or helping law firms manage their trial dates. Paid apps in Teams are making a difference for all of our users. And just last month, we added a category to the Teams App Store, Best Selling, to highlight monetized apps that resonate with users for better discovery. The team here has been hard at work to help you create, monetize, and manage your paid apps better. Today, I'm excited to share with you two of those features. The first is in-app purchasing, and the second is license management in Teams. Let's start with in-app purchasing. When we first added monetization support last October, the only way for customers to purchase monetized apps in Teams was via the Teams Store or the Teams admin portal. As
뭐냐 그러면은 이게 처음에 앱을 구입할 때 유료로 하거나 아니면 구입 안 하거나 둘 중밖에 없었다는 거예요. 구입하거나 구입 안 하거나. 근데 조금 이제 인앱으로 됐으면 좀 바뀌는 거죠.
you see here. Well, we spoke with developers and realized that while this model worked really well for publishers of paid-only apps, it wasn't ideal for freemium app developers. Developers want to upsell their users to paid offerings only after users have experienced the app. and they don't want users to leave the app to do it. I'm excited to share that in-app purchase support is now generally available.
이제 무료로 시작했다가 쓰다가 어느 정도 이제 기능이 추가되거나 이러면은 이제 업그레이드 유료로 할 수 있도록 여기 보면 업그레이드 투데이라고 요 위에 있죠. 이 버튼을 누르면 이제 유료로 가는 거죠. 이렇게 이제 바뀌었다는 거죠, 정책이.
You, our developers, have control of when and how to upsell your users from free to paid subscriptions right within your Teams app. While some others wanted to trigger purchase experiences only at specific times, such as paywalls or after a predefined trial period that the developer was tracking, we've made in-app purchase flexible enough for developers to enable these scenarios. From a customer standpoint, the in-app purchase experience is the same one they already know from the Teams store. And they can also use the payment instrument from earlier purchases to reduce friction. Once a user completes the purchase, they configure licenses the same way they do today, and they are then returned right back into your app. Lastly, we worked to make it lightweight for you to enable in-app purchasing inside your monetized app. It requires a few lines of code to be added to your manifest to enable the appropriate permissions as shown here, and a few more lines of code to call the Open Purchase Experience API we've now made available. Again, you can choose when to call it. You can learn more by visiting the aka.ms link shown here. Now, let's shift gears and talk about how users that purchase subscriptions can manage and assign licenses. As a previous rule, it has been up to you, the developer, to develop the license management component into your solution, whether on your landing page or directly within your application. We've heard your feedback on this approach. To help streamline the experience and expedite the process for you, we will soon offer the ability for you to offload the license management capabilities to us, where users can manage and assign licenses directly in Teams. Let's look at this in action. Let's start with a Teams customer who has purchased a subscription to your app. In the Teams store, this user will be able to navigate to manage your apps and tab over to subscriptions to view their list of purchases. Here, clicking on a subscription allows this user to see all of the detail associated with the purchase. And by the way, what you're seeing here is a sneak preview of another feature coming this summer. We're enabling customers to natively manage their subscriptions, including upgrades, downgrades, and cancellations right within Teams. Moving on, this customer who purchased licenses to your app is able to manage these licenses by clicking the Assign Licenses button on the screen. The user is then taken to the license management page. Here, the user can easily view the purchase information of the subscription and the license allotments. Clicking on Assign Licenses here renders a modal dialog for the user to select users. The user can search by typing the name in the search box, and they can click to select the user. This can be done for a single user or for multiple users at a single time. Once the Assign button is clicked, the licenses are assigned to these selected users.
여기는 라이선스가 20개 있는 걸 사서 지금 4명을 한꺼번에 선택했잖아요. 그럼 20명 중에 4명이 됐고, 또 어떤 사람은 다시 또 추가할 수도 있고, 퇴직하고 이러면 또 그 해지할 수도 있고, 이런 것들을 요 한 앱에서의 구독을 이제 팀즈 안에서 우리 사용자가 좀 편리하게 할 수 있다. 이게 이제 여러 때 나온다고 했으니까 좀 있으면 나오겠죠.
And look at this. Licenses can be assigned to a team with a single click. A customer can search for a team by typing the team name in the search box. They can choose to add either all users or specific users to assign licenses to, all with a single action. The user can also manage licenses by unassigning them from users who don't need them and reassign them as needed. And most importantly, we are making it lightweight for you, our developers, to enable this feature if you choose Microsoft to manage licenses for your apps and users. When setting up a new transactable offer in Partner Center, you can soon define how your license management will be managed, either directly from you or by Microsoft. You would also integrate to Microsoft Graph Usage Rights API to determine the user's license permissions when they launch the app. We're excited to share more about license management in Teams and a preview this summer. Look for more updates coming from us soon. Well, these are just a few of the many new features we are actively developing to help you drive for success. And speaking of, I'd like to share a clip from Office at Work, a partner who has found success in monetizing their apps across commercial marketplace. Not only did their customer base grow internationally, but they also saw an increase in revenue and usage. Let's watch.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. My name is Martin Seifert. I'm the CEO of Office at Work, and we have a product called Template Chooser, which helps any Microsoft 365 customer to better make their own Office templates available across all applications within the Microsoft 365 platform. So I'd like to break it down into two parts if we talk about the investment here. One is the technical investment. What do you need to do to actually get into the marketplace? The other one is, what does it cost you? What's the return when you go into the marketplace? Actually, when you do turnover, you get 97% of the turnover is then paid out. So there's a 3% cut. We went from 3% international business to over a third international business. That's the amazing thing. So any ISV out there that's ready to have or thinking about transacting with an offer, this is a no-brainer. There's hardly any investment. There's big opportunity. Comes at a great financial package, and it just opens up the market for you without having to invest in sales in all these countries. The secret is to do it, not to think this is complicated and you need to wait for something. Just do it. It's an astonishing offering. Get your app in there, make it transactable, make it visible in the market, and just start transacting. There's really nothing that should stop you. And for us, it's a no-brainer. You really need to be in that marketplace if you're on the platform.
It is so great to see that our monetization capabilities have enabled Office at Work to thrive in our marketplaces. Next, it's your turn. To get started with Teams app monetization, please visit the aka.ms link on the screen, where you'll find resources to walk you through the 5 steps needed to monetize your app. Back to you, Gladys.
Thanks, Chandrika. Well, that's everything we're sharing today to help you reach millions of users. Here's a quick recap. Microsoft Teams has everything you need to build secure and compliant collaborative apps. And we are making it easier for you to reach the right users and monetize your apps. We look forward to seeing you in the App Store soon. Be sure to check out all our sessions at the link below. Thank you all for joining and enjoy the rest of Build. Happy coding.
네, 감사합니다. 이까지가 영상, 빌드 영상이거든요. 정시간 9시까지 거의 한 40분 이상 들으셨는데, 듣는다고 수고하셨고, 여기에 대해서 이제 잠시 우리가 이야기를 좀 나눠보고, 질문 좀 이런 것 받고 이제 끝내도록 하죠. 예. 일단은 오늘 수고해 주신 고현정 MVP님 혹시 지금 나와 계십니까?
네, 듣고